gonna do a show review, which is a little different than stuff that I normally do on this channel, but it's puppet related, and if you do watch this channel a lot, you'll know that I love puppets, especially the Muppets and stuff like that. Sesame Street, you'll see.
If you can't tell.
Actually, Jim Henson's birthday today, which is really cool. And I really want to talk about the show that I really, really like called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. So the reason why I'm talking about this today is because its new show aired, where now it's actually on TV instead of just a YouTube web series, which is really cool. We've been waiting for it for years. Okay, now if you haven't watched the show yet, I totally advise you do it. If you're in Europe, go watch it on Channel 4. Now, sadly, the show is only airing on TV in Europe, but if you use a VPN, you can get in and watch the show, trick your computer into thinking that you're in Europe. So, I binge-watched all 6 episodes, which, might I add, if you're a fan of the original show, you'll know that it had 6 episodes, so I think it's really cool that the new show has 6 episodes as well. So here's a little bit of background on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. It was made by Becky and Joseph as a YouTube web series, and it was made 11 years ago, which is weird to think about because I'm young, and I was so young when it came out.
You were 4. Math is hard.
And I remember watching one of the last episodes on the day it aired, and I was like, how young did I watch this? And I was like, yeah, it checks out in my thoughts, but with how much I hated horror back then, this is a horror show. Okay, I'm going to save the spoilers till the end and my thoughts because I'm a longtime fan of this show and I have a lot of thoughts. But a lot of them delve into spoilers, so I'm going to do that at the end. But here's my non-spoiler review. So Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is basically about a group of 3 friends, Yellow Guy, Duck, and Red Guy. Red Guy's my favorite, if you couldn't tell. They basically just sit around in their house until an object or someone just comes in and was like, hey, I have a lesson to teach you today. And it starts off okay-ish normally, and then it slowly gets more and more terrifying in the most wonderful ways.
So it's like a spooky Sesame Street.
Exactly, that's exactly what it's like. And my favorite part about it is the songs. They're all you'd watch Sesame Street and they'd be informational songs, let's sing our ABCs, and it just slowly just turns into a horror. Some of my favorite parts about Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is the comedy and the sort of psychological horror aspect of it, because although things are a little bit gory in it, there's a lot of oh wow, this will make you think about stuff. Ugh, I don't like thinking. A lot of the humor is definitely my type of humor, especially in adult content. I feel I watch a lot of shows that are rated TVY7, and so my humor level is I don't want inappropriate things. It's definitely more of dry humor, and I absolutely love that type of humor. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, that's pretty common in British TV, so that makes sense.
I'm not sure how much I can talk about this too much without getting into spoilers, so I'll keep this part brief. But I love its meta stuff. It at parts reminds me of, if you've ever seen the movie The Truman Show, it kind of reminds me of that, and it's really good. And I'd say, if you don't know the original YouTube series, you should definitely go watch that, because it's still free up on YouTube on the channel called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I'd definitely recommend watching the show. I'd say you don't need the YouTube series to understand the show, but just to support the creators, you should watch a YouTube series, because they're 2 different things.
So which one's better?
Honestly, for me right now, I like the YouTube web series, but that's just because I knew every word to every song, and I watched all the episodes 10,000 times.
So it's a classic to you.
Yeah, to me, I grew up on this, which is weird, but I really liked it. Not let down at all by the show. If you are a fan of the original show, and you're I don't know if I'll like it because I really like the YouTube one, and I don't want it to be ruined. It was not. It was perfect. It didn't repeat stuff. It had just a good amount of callbacks to the original show, where it wasn't shoving it in your face, but you're that character, I like that character. Characters feel like they're a little bit more developed in the new show, and I
that's
like
good.
that better.
Yeah.
Where in the old show they definitely had good characters, but they weren't as like three-dimensional, I'd say. I can't tell if it's less scary than the original, or if I've just gotten more used to that type of horror.
I think you're just older. You scared a lot easier when you were little.
No! Episode 5 of the original spooked me to my core. That episode.
Like, still?
I'll watch it still, and I swear I could tell people that's the reason why I'm vegetarian, and they would not ask anything. I said I like animals. They would be more judgmental about that than if I said, oh yeah, I watched this. They'd be like, you know what, that's fair. I'm vegetarian now too. I don't like the food episodes. They're gross. It's so gross, and it's ugh. Also, just add, this show is gorgeous. Its experimentation in all of like different animation styles and puppetry is so good. Like, you know, most of it is puppeteering. There's like, I do like all the different types of puppets. Like Red Guy is a full person bodysuit, and like the two others are like, you know, these type of puppets. I absolutely love the fact that like they do a lot of claymation in the show, stop motion.
Oh, cool.
They do a lot of 2D animation and 3D animation. And like every time they change, purposely fits the vibe, and also the animation. It's really spectacular. It's just really good. Okay, now I'm gonna get into the spoiler reviews and my thoughts, because I have a lot of thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna go more in depth on the scary and spookiness of it, because there was one scene, this is relating back to my Meat episode 5 of the original, where the steak man from that, just like, they were in a pitch black room and he came running, and that part scared me so much, like more than the entire show. I was like, I don't want that man here, get him out. Like, that part scared me so bad. And I'm like, I feel like when I'm in a dark room, I'm gonna see that steak man, and I hate him so much. So that's my feelings about Steak Man. There's also a really creepy twin episode, and one of the twins is named Lily, and I am highly offended by that, because my name is Lily. And that episode was also really freaky. On edge that entire time, but it was really, really sweet at the end. So one of my favorite episodes in the new series was episode 5. I know I'm talking about a lot about episode 5s here, but like, they're good.
We're sponsored by the number 5.
5. Basically, in the original show, what they did a lot is they'd have characters slowly start like getting deranged from the show. Like, they were supposed to represent like actors on the show, and they're slowly like getting off script, and they slowly started like leaving the show until there was only Yellow Guy left. The new show takes that as a basis, but you can tell like they don't know that they're on a show. Like, this is just their life for them. You know, it's supposed to be like a play on the episodicness, where Red Guy, again, my favorite, is slowly like, I don't want to be in this house, we need to go. The road trip family episode. But like the whole time, every other like side character is like, you should go home. It's like the GPS comes alive and is like, take a U-turn and go home. And they're like, no, I'm not going back there. And you can like see how stressed he is about this.
So it's like Twilight Zone-y.
It's very like Twilight Zone, The Truman Show. My favorite thing about this too is that in the episode before this, it foreshadows it, because in the intro, it changes every time, it has Red Guy saying, this place is a nightmare, which I thought was really funny and also kind of scary, because he has a very monotone voice, and whenever he screams in that show, I'm like, whoa. And another fun thing is these characters watch a show that sort of parodies Wallace and Gromit, and in this episode, they draw a parallel where he's like, I want to watch the end of this show. And he's like, it always happens the same. He's always going to like book his appointment, and then he's going to be in his house the next day in the next episode. And at the very end of that episode, they finally drive out of their town, which is all like, it's all made of felt and clay, and it disappears to the real world. And it's just a barren wasteland. And they're all like, what is this place? And they all just kind of sit there and they're all like, yeah, there has to be people here, there has to be someone coming. And then it, like, zooms out to this creepy woman, and I'm like, I don't know who she is. And then she's just like, yeah, you know, you're all gonna end up home in the end. And the next day they wake up, forgot the events, and they're back at home in the next episode. And you're like, okay, I guess they're just trapped here forever. We had some reoccurring old characters from the YouTube show. They had, like, the clock, they had the computer, which I think his name is Colin, actually. And, you know, there's Roy, obviously. There's a bunch of characters that showed up before. I did notice a distinct lack of notebook pad, which was in the very first episode. The Let's Get Creative. I don't know why she wasn't there, because she was a really big staple in the first show. This episode, I kind of got, but maybe I just watched it too late, and maybe I just don't understand stuff, but I really just did not understand that episode at all. Like, I don't know, it was playing 4D chess. I don't know what it was doing. Like, I was like, you're putting layers and layers, and you're like, here's the answers. No, we're gonna shred the answers. Another thing the show does that I really like is I feel like the characters are a bit more fleshed out. Like, I feel like since they got more talking roles and more chances to grow, since, like, the originals were like 5 minutes long, these are 20 minutes each. So I definitely really like what they did with all the characters. For Red Guy, he definitely is still like the straight man of the group, and he's just like as, yeah, let's make a bad decision as like the rest of them are. He's just a little more straight man. I absolutely love Duck. He's just, mwah, he's perfect. He's just a chaotic force. Yellow Guy definitely got more character development in the 6th episode if I could understand it. I don't know, it's something. I don't understand the plot line, but it's good. I know it's good. And I really like Red Guy's and Duck's relationship. I love their dynamic. It's so good. And Yellow Guy's just, I feel bad for him a lot. Wish him the best. I could probably go on talking about the show like forever. I have my little like bulletin board and like red string, and I'm like trying to piece places together where I'm like, in this part of the intro it says that. Is that foreshadowing this event? And I'm like, I can't get into all of that right now. So feel free to discuss in the comments below. I'll probably answer with my own thoughts. And I absolutely love this show so much, so I really wanted to share my thoughts on it with you, and just go watch it. It's perfect. At least watch the web series because it's so good, but I definitely recommend the new show. It's just perfect. I'd say words can't describe how perfect it is, but that's what I've been just trying to do this whole video. So, well, thank you all for watching. If you like this video and want to see more footage like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Perfect.